Time for another board game review, and this time we have the game Cubitos. This was sent to me by AEG and is designed by John D. Clare. Be fast or be last. Players take on the role of participants in the annual Cube Cup, a race of strategy and luck to determine the Cubitos champion. Each player has a runner on the racetrack and a support team represented by all the dice you roll. Each turn you roll dice and use their results to move along the racetrack, buy new dice, and use abilities. But you must be careful not to push your luck rolling too much, or you could bust. Let me show you how to play. So Cubitos is played in a series of rounds. During each round, all players will first complete a roll phase, followed by a run phase. Once all players complete a run phase, the start player die is passed to the next player clockwise around the table, and a new round begins. You just keep playing rounds until the game ends. So everyone does the roll phase at the same time. So you have your dice, and first you draw them. So you move dice from your draw zone to your roll zone, equal to your draw amount, and everybody starts with 9. You may choose which dice to draw, and you usually start each round with some dice already in your roll zone left there from the previous round. So let's say I had some dice here from last time. I have to roll these, and then I draw 6 more from the pile. If you need to draw more dice but don't have any in your draw zone, you move all the dice from your discard zone to your draw zone and then continue just drawing. But for the beginning of the game, you won't need to worry about that. So then what you do is you take all your dice and you roll them. And so this is my roll. Now, if you rolled any hits, proceed to step 3. So any hits, which means anything with a face on it, goes into your active zone. These are all misses. Now, if you have at least 3 dice in your active zone, if you want to roll again, you may have the risk of busting. If you only had 2, then you could re-roll with no risk. So, I have 3 hits in my active zone. I can choose now to either push, which means take these and roll again, or pass. If I pass, this is all I'm going to be using this turn. But let's say I go, I'm going to roll again. Aha, it worked. It was worth it because now I have 2 more hits. If I wanted to push again, I could. Ooh, even better. I have even more hits. It would be very unwise, I feel, to continue pushing, but let's just see what happens. Oh, that is a perfect. So that was worth pushing. Now, whether you pushed or passed, all the dice in your active zone, that's what you're going to use during the run phase. Now, let's say I had busted and roll all misses instead. You move all dice from your active zone to your discard zone. As a bonus, you may move any dice from your roll zone to your discard zone. So let's say I move these as well. And then what you get to do is you advance your runner figure 1 space on this fan track over here. And so we move like that. Now, if you ever move onto a space with either money or an extra draw symbol on it, you get those bonuses. Like these purple hands, each one of these you get, it extends how many more dice you can roll in your draw hand. So yeah, each time you fail, you can move along this track, get more rewards. Otherwise though, you don't get to do anything else for that turn. The start player also gets to roll this start player die. So if I just roll this, I rolled nothing, but they can give you currency or run. I'll explain all that later. So let's say I rolled everything like I showed before. Now it's time for the run phase. First, use any run abilities you have. In this case, I don't have any, but if I did, I would use them now. And then I move. So looking on here, I have 1 run movement. So starting from this finish line here, I can move 1 space and I can choose wherever I want to start. So let's say I could stop here. Wherever you stop, you get to pick up that reward. In this case, it's 2 of these silver coins. After you've done your movement, then it's time to buy. And in this case, I have a lot. So I've got 8 of these circular coins. These are temporary currency. If you don't use these, you lose these. Meanwhile, the silver square coins are accumulated, and you can keep these between rounds. So altogether, I have 10 currency I could use. 8 at least I should use. Now, on your turn, you can buy up to 2 dice each round, and this is where the meat of the game is. If you look here, all of these dice have different costs and different abilities, along with different die faces on them. So you're looking at these and you're deciding which ones you want to add to your pool. You can buy up to 2 dice per round. If you buy 2, they must be 2 different colors. You can't buy 2 of the same die. So I could be like, okay, with, let's say I don't want to use my silver coins, but I'm going to use 8 of my currency. I could buy a smelly cat. In this case, a smelly cat, what it does is run abilities, you gain 2 movement. Otherwise, it'll also just roll a movement for you. That's pretty useful. Whenever you buy a die, you place it in your discard zone. And then I'll also buy, let's buy a Mr. Soldier. What Mr. Soldier does is you compare your sword icons with other players. Whoever has the most gains 3 silver coins and gains 2 movement, but loses a red die. So that's something that sort of affects other players, so I can put that in my pool as well. Once you've bought your dice, all the dice you use get discarded, and then on your next turn, since he has a draw face of, not draw face, but a draw total of 9, he can choose, because since his draw pile is empty, which dice he wants to draw. So he's going to move all these over here, and then he's going to pick 9 of these dice. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9. And then on the next round, he can roll these dice. And like I mentioned before, for abilities, like this cat symbol, if I rolled this, then I could activate Smelly Cat's special ability, which is gain 2 movement. And that's honestly it. Like, you're rolling these simultaneously. And so as your runners are going along the board, they'll pick up different rewards and stuff. Now, an interesting mechanic here is if a player is ahead of you, you can get more in your draw total. So let's say right now, these are where the players are at. And the leading player, you can see this little red sort of line here, is 1 line ahead of the others. That means all the other players get to draw an extra die on their turn. If it was 2 ahead, seeing this, they could draw 2 extra dice each. So that sort of helps the people who are behind to catch up. There are also different spaces on the board. Not all of them are present on here, but they'll give you different like bonuses. Like, for example, this one here, you gain a fan, which is that lets you move on the fan track. God damn it, dice. So if I move my character onto this space and end there, I could move my guy on the track. This symbol here lets you lose a die. You take any one of your die from your zones and return to its tray, so that you can sort of thin out your deck. Some spaces will let you gain a die, in which case you get to pick a die for free and put it in your discard zone. There are also other maps in the game, and these can come with stuff like shortcuts, or you've got all sorts of different little spaces. You can spend movement to do the shortcut on this map, or I believe there's also a jetpack, which doubles your remaining movement. Yeah, all sorts of little tricks on different maps. Now, the first player to make it all the way around and get back to the finish line, if you're playing a 1-lap game, is the winner. If 2 or more players reach that space in the same round, whoever goes the most distance beyond the start space wins. But that's pretty much it. Now let's go into some of these other dice you can buy that I didn't show you. Here we've got Rich Dog. His ability is you gain 3 coins, but then you lose this dice. But you could also just roll 3 coins on its own without losing the die. Reckless Cheese. Each time you push and do not bust, gain a movement and use it immediately. So for those reckless players, that's pretty useful. Rock On. If you push, you may first move this dice to your roll zone before you roll. Bob. After your move step, gain 1 reward space as 1 or 2 spaces away. So he's good at sort of flexibility on getting those rewards. Rollosaurus just gains 4 movement, but you gotta roll that 1 die face out of 6. And Dugout, you can select 3 dice from your draw zone, roll them into your roll zone, then move any hits to your active zone, getting some free dice action. What's also cool about the game is it comes with multiple abilities for every single dice. So you could swap them out for each game can be completely different. The game comes with suggestions for like specific maps and ability combinations, but As you can see, there's a ton of different combinations of cards and maps you can do. But otherwise, yeah, you're rolling those dice, moving around, buying more dice, adding them to your pool, and rolling them again. It's all simultaneous rolling, and it's pretty breezy. And that's the game. So this is a solid combination of dice pool building, push your luck, and racing that I can get behind. I've always loved like the idea of dice pool building and watching your collection of colorful dice grow and grow, and this one I think is my favorite version of this that I've played so far. Rolling the dice is always very satisfying, and the push your luck mechanic is clever as you're looking at your opponent and going, okay, should I keep going because I can get more red dice than them for the red dice comparison, for example. The simultaneous play is pretty ingenious as you know, you can breeze through turns if you know what you're doing. Everybody just like rolling, got it, bust, roll, or push, rolling, push, bust, out, or rolling, push, rolling, stop, good. You don't have to wait for everybody to do it one by one, which is nice. I really appreciate that the game comes with a wide variety of abilities for the dice, so every game can be customized with new dice abilities and different maps. Seeing the way different dice work together is really intriguing. It really does a lot for replay value. With that said, because you're rolling dice, you'll just have to accept that there's a lot of luck involved in the game. You can get just straight up bad rolls. That, and because this is a race game, if someone can grab a valuable die early on, if they're really lucky, it can really push them ahead. Balancing factors do help, you know, like the whole, oh, if you're behind, you get more dice in your pool to try and keep it even. But like any racing game, if someone gets a huge lead, it can be hard to catch up. But like any good race game, the game isn't too long. Like, it doesn't overstay its welcome, so you can always just start up again for another race right after, swap some abilities out, flip the map, let's go. The dice pool building is so fun that you may not even care that much if you lost because you just enjoyed building your dice pool. That, to me, is also a sign of a fun game, where it was just fun to play no matter what. It's a cute game with some very clever dice abilities and a really fun mishmash of concepts. If you want a breezy but still chewy little dice pool building race game, check this one out. I really enjoyed it. It's good shit.